Some creatures measure life in years. Others measure it in loyalty or survival. And every once in a while, history leaves behind something impossible to ignore. A parrot who lived for 119 years, a tortoise who may have seen 3 centuries, a dog who waited for a decade, and a man who survived the unthinkable. This is not fiction. This is history, told through endurance. In 1796, a sea captain purchased a newly hatched parrot. He had no idea the bird would outlive him, or that it would survive nearly 120 years. Cocky Bennett did not grow up in trees. He grew up on deck, surrounded by sailors, salt air, and profanity. His owner, Captain Ellis, kept him for decades, through violent storms, long Atlantic crossings, and the slow turning of centuries. When Captain Ellis died, the next captain kept the bird, and the next. Altogether, Cocky Bennett spent 87 years at sea. Imagine that, born before electricity, before steamships ruled the ocean, and still perched on wooden railings as the world modernized. He learned his first curse words in the late 1700s, and he never updated his vocabulary. After nearly 9 decades aboard a ship, he was retired to a small seaside hotel. By then, he was featherless, half-deaf, scrawny, but still animated, still sharp, still mischievous. He mimicked human voices so convincingly that he sometimes caused arguments between guests. A relic of another century, starting fights in a modern one. In 1916, Cocky Bennett took his final breath. He was 119 years old. He had circled the globe nearly 10 times. He had outlived his captains, and he had watched the world transform from sail to steel. But Cocky Bennett was not the only creature to quietly outlive human history. Around 1750, on a remote island in the Indian Ocean, a hatchling broke through its shell. That tortoise would come to be known as Adwaita. The island was under colonial control, and like many exotic animals of the time, he was transported as a gift. Eventually, he arrived in India, and there he stayed. As decades passed, Adwaita did not rush. He did not change, but the world around him did. When the American Revolution began, he may have already been alive. When the Industrial Revolution reshaped Europe, he was still walking slowly beneath the sun. When World War I erupted, he was over 160 years old. When World War II ended, he had witnessed 2 global catastrophes. Empires rose, empires fell, nations were born, machines conquered distance, humans reached the sky, and he kept moving, inch by inch. In 2006, Adwaita died. He was believed to be 255 years old. Scientists debated the exact number. Legends grow with time. But whether he was 200 or 255, he had outlived entire eras. Some creatures survive centuries. Others survive heartbreak. In 1920s Japan, a dog named Hachiko walked his owner to the train station every morning. Professor Hidesaburo Ueno, and every afternoon, Hachiko returned to greet him. It was their ritual, their unspoken promise. On May 21, 1925, Professor Ueno collapsed at work. He never came home. But Hachiko didn't know that. The next day, he waited at the station, and the next, and the next. For nearly 10 years, Hachiko returned to that same platform, through rain, through snow, through heat. Imagine standing in the same place every day for 10 years and never knowing why the person you love stopped coming. Commuters began to notice. Newspapers wrote about him. Children fed him, the quiet dog who refused to give up. Hachiko became a symbol of loyalty across Japan. In 1935, he was found near the station. He had waited until his final breath. Today, a bronze statue stands at Shibuya Station. People meet there every day. Most walk past quickly, but the story remains. Some animals outlive empires, others outlive hope. And then, there are those who survive history's darkest moments. August 6, 1945, Hiroshima. A 29-year-old engineer named Tsutomu Yamaguchi was in the city on business. At 8:15 a.m., the sky exploded. The blast threw him into a field. His eardrums ruptured, his body burned. But he survived. The next morning, he boarded a train home. His home was in Nagasaki. On August 9th, as he described the blinding flash he had seen in Hiroshima, the sky exploded again. A second atomic bomb. Yamaguchi survived again, his wife survived, his infant son survived. Against impossible odds, he had lived through both atomic bombings. For decades, he rarely spoke about it. He worked, raised his children, carried memories no one should carry. In 2009, he was officially recognized as a survivor of both attacks. He died in 2010, 93 years old. He chose to spend his later years advocating for peace. Survival is not always loud. Sometimes it is simply continuing. A parrot who outlived his captains, a tortoise who may have seen 3 centuries, a dog who waited 10 years for a promise that would never be fulfilled, and a man who survived the most destructive weapon ever created. Some lives are long, some are loyal, some are resilient beyond comprehension, but all of them remind us of something simple. Time passes, empires fall, technology evolves, and yet endurance remains, in feathers, in shells, in paws, and in the human spirit.